Good afternoon. This is Aaron Blank, President and CEO of the Fury Group, and I'm here at Life Science Innovation Northwest, a conference put on by the Washington Biotechnology and Biomedical Association here in Seattle. And I'm here with Ryan Luce, who's the president and founder of Corengi. It's a company that is doing some revolutionary stuff to basically connect individuals with clinical trials and key researchers around the country. I'll let Ryan tell you a little bit about some of the key things they're doing. Ryan, welcome, and tell me a little bit about Corengi. What are you guys focused on?
So Corengi is really a technology platform to help patients find clinical trials that are right for them. And we mean that in several ways. Those are trials that are clinically appropriate, that are geographically nearby, and that have the type of research they're actually interested in doing. And so that, at the core of it, is our mission. Now we're building a platform that connects with patients in a number of different ways, but at the core of it is really helping those patients find clinical trials that are appropriate.
So I'm on the website. I'm
All right
here.
Another visitor.
And go to zip code and you type in your zip code, and then you type in the condition that you might have, and it looks like just got a variety of different stuff.
Yeah. So right now we're focused on diabetes in terms of the consumer website. So you'd select type 1 or type 2 diabetes.
Okay, so find matching trials.
Right. So basically, within diabetes, there's about 450 ongoing research studies at any one particular time. And so what it's doing, and each of those research studies might have 1 or 10 or 100 different locations. So it's looking for those trials that are close by, identifying, organizing them by geography, and then what are the next key questions? How many next key questions are we going to want to find out about your condition to see if that research is appropriate? So it might follow up with a question around, say, what is your most recent blood sugar rating? Or what type of insulin delivery mechanism are you doing? Is it a pump? When were you diagnosed? All key questions for qualification for research that a patient can easily answer about their condition.
So you had referenced it. It's sort of like a dating website.
It's a dating website with a very, very different goal. But really fundamentally, and this was a hard conversation I had with my wife as I was exploring dating websites. But dating websites are very good at understanding how many questions people are willing to answer and giving value back all the time as you put in information. And so we try to model that. In terms of as soon as you let us know what medications you're on, we are letting you know whether or not that trial is still a potential match. If it's not, we sort of you bring you back into the full collection of possible trial options. So that is something that we definitely modeled after. Although obviously the goal is very different from finding someone to go on a date with.
You mentioned to me earlier patient to trials project that you guys are working on. Tell us a little bit about that.
So where we started with this dating website around diabetes trials. We have evolved into realizing we want to engage with patients wherever they're making a decision about their health care. And so what the Patients to Trials Projects is a public consortium where we're working with Pfizer, Lilly, and Novartis, 3 of the biggest pharmaceutical companies in the world. And we're also working with a patient portal platform called Avado that was recently acquired by WebMD. And what we have built is a public API that allows for clinical trial matching based on data that lives within the electronic medical record, specifically through a protocol called Blue Button Plus. It's all a little sort of technologically complicated in terms of how that data is extracted and how those trials are described. We are making it dead simple to put those things up against each other and help a patient identify trials that are right for them.
And where are you guys in that process?
So we've worked on the project for about 9 months. The API is up. We've only got it's public. It's only been linked into Avado at this point. But within the next month, it'll be available to anybody. We're really looking at what is the next phase of that project. This has just been a subset of trials available at those 3 pharmaceutical companies, trials that they're obviously keenly interested, but ultimately it's a platform that we'd like available across the universe of clinical trials that are ongoing in this country.
So Life Science Innovation Northwest obviously is a conference focused a lot on our industry here in the Northwest.
Right.
Why are you here?
We're a Seattle local company, and Washington Biotech and Biomedical Association has been an integral part of our success to date. Not only have they, as their commercialization team, given us great feedback on the building of our business, we've had personnel that have come through WBBA that have joined our team. We have an awful lot of sort of gratitude in some respects towards that organization. And a conference like this is an opportunity to meet people who are both in our region as well as from around the world who have an interest in this area. So this is our second year here. We've developed spectacular contacts each time. We learn things, and we're inspired, frankly, by the people and the activities that are going on around us.
Is funding a need for you guys? Are you looking for funding, or are you guys?
Funding's always a need.
Yeah, of
Now,
course.
we're pursuing a variety of different sources of funding, both business development, particularly with some of the contacts that we've been developing in the pharmaceutical area, as well as grant-making industry, but we're always interested in talking to investors.
And one last question. You were with Nexcura, which was acquired by Reuters.
Right.
And you were with them from 2000 to 2009. Obviously, you've gone through a selling of a company.
Right.
And a lot of the people in our WBBA community are looking for funding. Any advice you give to someone that's in the middle of a company that is looking for funding or is in the process of trying to sell off? What would you provide as
I think key thing there, and one thing is I don't want to overstate my involvement in the selling of Nexcura. I was very much in sort of not at the top level of that organization when it was sold. So, but that said, going through and sort of witnessing that experience, and then also the investment and collaborations we've brought to date with Corengi, the two key things I think, and this goes back to what John Crowley was saying beforehand. One is doing your homework and sort of kind of following your passion. Like if you're committed to a particular idea, go make sure you understand every aspect of that idea and why or why not it might not work. But the other thing that really resonated for me in his talk was the importance of honesty and credibility, the credibility that builds. And so even when things may or may not be going exactly as you'd like, being very clear about the challenges you have can go a long way towards building credibility with potential collaborators, partners, or even investors.
Yeah. One last story. You have a personal connection to the research and the stuff that you got into. And is there any, in 30 seconds or less, what could you tell us about your personal story about what really attracted you to building out Corengi?
The two stories really there is that my mom went through a breast cancer diagnosis and my youngest son had a pretty serious congenital defect when he was born. They're both doing fine, almost 10 years out now. But going through that experience, looking at the importance of clinical trials, either in participating or just how it affected their treatment protocol, clinical trials are really the key engine of medical progress. It doesn't matter how many great drug targets we get developed if we don't have the patients coming through the research to actually learn whether or not they're a good option. So the only thing I would say is that clinical trials are the engine of medical progress, and we're trying to feed that. So.
Ryan Luce, president and founder of Corengi. That's spelled Corengi. And you can visit them on the web. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.